Welcome to Mysteries of the Word, where we explore the hidden truths behind the Bible using scripture, history, and even ancient non-canonical texts, always in a way that's easy to understand. Today, we're asking a question many people avoid. Did Jesus' prophecy in Matthew 24 actually come true within one generation? To find out, we'll walk through eyewitness accounts from Josephus and Tacitus, two historians who were alive during the destruction of Jerusalem in 70 AD. What they describe is so shocking that once you hear it, you'll never read Jesus' words the same way again. Let's get started. Jesus' statement in Matthew 24:34, Jesus said, "This generation will not pass away until all these things take place." He had just listed events like wars and rumors of wars, famine, earthquakes, persecution, false prophets, Jerusalem surrounded by armies, the abomination of desolation, and the destruction of the temple. Many people today push these into the future, but the early Christians didn't. They believed Jesus meant their generation, and history proves they were right. By the time Jesus gave his prophecy, around AD 30, Judea was a boiling pot. Roman occupation, heavy taxes, corrupt high priests, political rebels, zealous revolutionaries. Josephus, a Jewish priest and historian who lived through it all, said that the nation was filled with rebellion, false prophets, and signs in the heavens even before the war started, exactly as Jesus predicted. Josephus records strange signs that many people at the time believed were warnings from God. These match Jesus' words about signs and wonders before the end. 1. A sword-shaped star over Jerusalem. Josephus describes a comet shaped like a sword hanging over the city for a whole year. This symbolized war and coming destruction. 2. A bright light around the temple. He writes that the temple's doors opened by themselves, and a bright light shone out so strongly that it looked like daytime. 3. Armies in the sky. Josephus also reports that chariots and armies of soldiers were seen running across the clouds. He says witnesses saw them encircling the cities. This lines up with Jesus' words, "You will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds with power." To first-century Jews, coming on the clouds meant divine judgment, not Jesus literally surfing through the sky. Jesus warned in Matthew 24:11, "Many false prophets will rise up and deceive many." Both Josephus and Tacitus record this exactly. Josephus says false prophets roamed Jerusalem, telling people that God was about to save them. They urged crowds to stay inside the city even when escape was possible. Tacitus, a Roman historian, confirms this and says many Jews were tricked by lies of impostors and false signs. This directly fulfills Jesus' warning. When you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, in 66 AD, a Jewish revolt broke out. Rome sent General Vespasian and his son Titus to crush it. They surrounded Jerusalem, exactly as Jesus predicted. But there's something even more interesting. Christians remembered Jesus' warning. When the Romans briefly withdrew in 66 AD, early Christians fled to a city called Pella in the mountains. Not a single Christian is recorded as dying in the siege. While the unbelieving Jews stayed, many trusting false prophets who said God would save them. Jesus said, "There will be famines and pestilences." During the siege, Josephus describes severe food shortages, disease spreading rapidly, corpses piling in the streets, people fighting over scraps of food. He writes that the famine was so bad that no one had strength to bury the dead. It became one of the worst famines in ancient history. Moses had prophesied that if Israel rejected God, they would one day eat their own children during a siege. Josephus records this happening in chilling detail. He tells the story of a wealthy woman named Mary who, driven mad by hunger, cooked and ate her infant son. The entire city was horrified. This moment became symbolic of the nation's spiritual collapse. Jesus said, "When you see the abomination of desolation, flee to the mountains." So, what was it? Josephus writes that the temple became filled with bloodshed, dead bodies, zealot fighters, corrupt leaders using it as a hideout. Then, when the Romans finally broke in, they set the temple on fire, carried their pagan standards into the holy place, offered sacrifices to their idols there. To the Jews, Roman banners were considered idols, and their presence in the temple was the ultimate desecration. This fulfilled Jesus' words exactly. Jesus famously said, "Not one stone will be left upon another." Tacitus and Josephus both confirm the temple burned so hot that the gold melted between the stones. Roman soldiers tore the building apart, stone by stone, to scrape out the gold. Jesus said, "For then there will be great tribulation, unequaled from the beginning of the world until now." Josephus estimates 1.1 million Jews died during the siege. Hundreds of thousands more were enslaved, scattered, or sold as cheap labor across the empire. Jerusalem was burned, the temple destroyed, and the nation shattered. This truly was the tribulation of that generation. Tacitus, writing from the Roman perspective, confirms fires across the city, mass slaughter, hatred between Jewish factions, Roman cruelty, famine so severe that people ate things they never imagined, the temple flattening. He also recorded strange signs, sounds in the heavens, mysterious voices, sudden bright lights in the temple. Even Rome knew something supernatural was happening. Every element of Jesus' prophecy was fulfilled. False prophets, wars and revolts, earthquakes across the region, famines, signs in the heavens, Jerusalem surrounded by armies, the temple desecrated, the temple destroyed completely, judgment on that generation. And it all happened within 40 years, the 40-year period biblical definition of a generation. Jesus meant exactly what he said. This does not mean prophecy has no future meaning. The events of 70 AD are both a fulfillment and but a pattern of the final end of the age. Just like the days of Noah repeat, the fall of Jerusalem also repeats. But one thing is clear: Jesus' prophecy about that generation was fulfilled exactly as he said in the lifetimes of his listeners. This proves Jesus is trustworthy. The Bible is historically accurate. God's warnings always come true. And it reminds us that when Jesus makes a promise, he keeps it. If you enjoyed today's deep dive into biblical prophecy and ancient history, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video. This is Mysteries of the Word, where we uncover the truth behind Scripture, one mystery at a time.